It is the Redneck, the BKFC middleweight champion, David Mundell, and he is getting ready to defend it on November 3rd in Orlando, Florida at BKFC 53. And David, I'll just ask you, main event, headliner, big show, title fight. What's the excitement like for you right now, a few weeks out?
It's always surreal. I love it. And then I get to fight back in the hometown again. And it's just the energy that I feed off of everybody from. It's amazing.
It's a pretty wild journey that you've had to get here, right? Obviously, you had a pretty extensive experience in MMA before you turned to BKFC, and this has turned out to be a pretty dang good career change for you, right? Did you envision having this path and this much success in BKFC?
At first I wasn't really sure what I was gonna do, but that after that first fight and just like it kind of like it was new, it was exciting, and I just knew that I this is what I want to do. And then from there on out, nothing's impossible. So I knew exactly where I was heading, and I'm just gonna keep grinding until I get there as well.
That's awesome, man. Obviously, we've seen as the sport has developed kind of like right in front of us, it seems like guys with MMA experience do tend to succeed a little bit, right? I think it's something about maybe the grit or the training. I don't know what it is. Do you attribute your MMA history to your success here in BKFC, or is it something different?
I think the biggest reason right off the rip is you boxers, they have, the big pillows on their hands, and then MMA guys, like, we only have 4-ounce gloves, which is a little closer to being bare-fisted. So the range is completely different. So us MMA guys going in there, we already have that range established, a lot closer than other boxers anyways. Also, like, our defense has to be a little bit more tight, because with the boxing gloves you can catch things that don't necessarily slip in those little cracks and stuff like that. But with bare knuckles, they can. So with MMA, you just kind of learn to move a little bit more.
It's certainly working for you. And like I said, I like seeing the MMA guys have some success in another sport. Talk to me about just kind of tenure, because here's what I've been wondering about too. You get in and you do it once or twice. That's one thing. You're 8 fights deep, going into 9 fights deep in this. Have you found there to be any concerns with your hands, the condition of the hands, the scar tissue? I don't know, anything that maybe you've noticed that, like, hey, doing this for a long time is kind of tough?
The hands are the main concern always. It's one of those things, like, I don't know how to explain it, because they do adapt, obviously. And so in the beginning, I was like, I don't know how much longer I'm going to have. Like, my hands keep hurting after these fights. And then past couple, like, I've been coming out and they haven't been that bad. Now, whether that's because my hands are, adapting, or because I got some badass physical therapists over there at Catalyst helping me out, it's to be determined, I guess. But that's the main concern. But it's a lot easier on my body, not having to wrestle and do jiu-jitsu and then doing kickboxing and all this other stuff combined. So it's a little bit easier to train for, I believe. And I've actually been able to go into quite a few fights almost injury-free, which was almost never in MMA.
It's pretty interesting. That seems to be like a universal thing, right? Because we see you guys getting there in bare knuckle, and obviously you're getting cut up, and there's, but you talk to everybody and they say, yeah, that looks bad. But man, you have no idea how much healthier I am, because I don't have to do wrestling. I don't have to do jujitsu. I don't have to do grappling. Like, all I have to do is just like cardio and boxing, basically, right? So it's like your longevity wise, even though it may seem like a quote unquote more violent or more dangerous sport, longevity, your body actually probably does better.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I am the believer that it's actually safer than all the other sports. I think it's better to get hit with the bare fist than it is to get repeatedly hit with the boxing gloves. So with that being said, it's just, to me, I found a home, and I just love the sport. So I don't plan on going anywhere.
It's funny. That's exactly the phrase that was in my head, is that you have found a home here, man. It's definitely worked. Let's talk about last time out. Phenomenal fight with Mike Richmond, who's had real success as well. You had to battle through some early adversity to get through it, but you battled back, got the win. What do you take out of a fight like that? Were there any lessons or anything that you took from that moving forward?
I'm my own worst critic, so I wasn't very pleased with that performance. Mike was definitely the top dog in the division, obviously right behind me. There's nobody else who could even take him in our division right now. So going in there, I knew I was going to, face a little bit, and I knew I had the dog in me, and I knew what I was capable of. So it was just one of those things where if I learned anything, it's, I have a couple things to sharpen up.
Nice. Well, I always respect that. I think that's a mark of success as well, is when even in victory you can find something to get better at, right? So after that one, you were trying to make something happen with Mike Perry. Did that get any close to fruition at all? Was there any discussion at all of that potentially happening?
No, man, they're never gonna let me ruin their poster boy. It's too easy of a fight for me. At this point, they're just gonna keep handing me bums, and I feel like they might as well give me a famous one. And Mike Perry is right up there. If not, I don't know, one of these influencers. And I don't really care about fighting them. It's just I want to get paid for what we do, and I'm the best in the division. Like I don't understand what the problem is. Everyone's like, "Oh, Mike Perry, this, Mike Perry." I will smash that kid.
I love it. Strong words there, which we like in the fight game. I'm curious, so because you kind of touched on there. I mean, the fight with Mike Perry, is it because it's a little bit personal and there's some history, or is it just about the fact that he is the star right now, right?
Yeah, he's like, you know, I hate saying it, but it's like he's the face of the organization, and I hate that because I don't feel like he works as hard as we do. He goes in there, he's always talking about how he likes to party and go get fucked up, doing all this stupid shit on Instagram, like. And when I watch training videos of him, I'm like, I mean, I got amateurs that'll whoop his ass. Like, I just don't get it. Like, yeah, he's tough, but that's not really a compliment. That means you go in there and get your ass whooped and you're still able to stand. Like, but he ain't walking through these punches. I guarantee you that.
Well, hopefully we get to see that somewhere down the line. In the meantime, we got Doug Coltrane up 3-0 in BKFC, back-to-back finishes to earn this shot. What do you think about him as an opponent? Things that he presents, any challenges that he offers for you?
Question all the time. It's funny, and it's the same thing, man. The kid's got grit, he's got heart, and he's up and coming, and it's great, but he's just not on my level yet. He called me out too soon. He should have waited. I mean, I'm happy for him doing his thing, trying to make it big, but it was just I just don't see anything dangerous from him, and everyone keeps telling me don't underestimate. I'm like, I don't know what these people think I do when I'm training. Like, I don't train necessarily just for the opponent I'm about to face. I'm training for the people that are coming down the line, and as of right now, there's nobody in BKFC that can take me out, but that doesn't mean they ain't gonna sign somebody one day. So I stay ready regardless, and I got so much weight I got to lose. I have to train my ass off. There is no underestimating anybody, but either way, he's too inexperienced, and that's the bottom line.
Yeah, great attitude overall, though, in terms of looking at not just this fight camp and this opponent, but the overall career. What is your preparation like, Dave? I mean, I know you're a family man, still working full time, I believe, as well. So, I mean, is that something you enjoy doing? You like the balance, or you're hoping to be able to check out of the trade one day?
Oh, I mean, I always talk about it, like wanting to stop and be able to just fight full time, do this, 'cause I have more time at home. But in a weird way, like I get so set in my ways, it's like a routine. Like I have the same routine every day, and it keeps me on track. And as everyone knows, like staying busy, like time goes by a little bit faster. So in these times like now where I'm losing a lot of weight, so I can't eat as much as I want to, or the things that I want, like staying busy helps. So I get up 6 o'clock in the morning, get ready, go to work. As soon as I'm off of work, I come here and I do some physical personal training. And then right after this, I go to the boxing gym. And then in between all that, if I have to make an appointment to fix an injury or whatever it may be, like it's just a crazy schedule, Monday through Saturday, just always grinding. I drive 90 miles a day, 6 days a week, just to make sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to. Like there's nobody in this game that's outworking me, bottom line.
That's awesome, man. Great commitment level. All right, well, listen, I know you said you're not looking past anybody, but you don't think he offers anything for you. You get through here. What do you do? I mean, you'll have a win over number 2 and number 3 if you look at the rankings. Technically, number 1 is Mike Perry, but you're not sure if they're going to give him to you. So what do we do?
Might as well just take his ass off the rankings and you just go ahead and say what he is, and he's just a poster boy. They just want him for these influencers and these other big name stars because people know who he is, and that's okay. But I honestly don't know what's next after this one. Like they're just gonna keep giving me. As of right now, there's nobody else in the division. They're just bums. They're all bums in my eyes, So I don't know. It's a roller coaster. I guess we just gotta wait to find out.
Well, we'll wait to see what happens. First up, of course, is BKFC 53. It's November 3rd. It's in Orlando, Florida. If you can make it out there. If not, you can check it out on the app. I guess, Dave, last thing I'll ask for you, give me the goal here, man. I mean, you want to retain this title, I'm sure. I know you want that breakout opportunity. So is this about like, hey, let's go make a statement here. Maybe we can get the poster boys' attention a little bit, or is it just go get a win? What's the goal here for you?
his attention. He's over there sweating bullets, praying to God BKFC don't feed him to me because he knows damn well what would happen. He's replied to all my posts. He sees everything. He's listen. We have trained together since our MMA fights, and I've beat him up in the gym too. So he knows who I am. That ain't the problem. It's just man, it's so frustrating, but it's what it is.
Well, hopefully we get a big victory here, and we'll just keep calling for it. Platinum versus a Redneck. Let's make it happen. There's too much history, and you're having too much fun calling them out not to let it happen at some point.
It's got to come.
I love it. All right, so David, I appreciate the time. I'll let you get back to it. I know you're busy cutting weight and preparing. We'll be tuned in on November 3rd, and then we'll see what happens after that.
I appreciate you, brother.